You're listening to Murder Not Murdering with Erin,
and Autumn,
a true crime podcast about murder and murdering.
but we are not murderers.
Hey, Autumn.
Hey, Erin.
So I have a guest in the studio today.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, you already know. We talked about it like a minute ago.
No, you can't. Let's redo that.
The secrets are out now, folks.
I was trying to pretend I didn't know.
Yeah, we chat a little bit beforehand about what we're going to chat about because we both are naturally very awkward in conversation.
Yes.
So we don't want to sound like assholes all the time.
Right.
Anyhow, I do have a guest in the studio. It is my Great Dane, Agador, who just followed me in here and did not want to leave. So I brought in his cozy bed and he's curled up on the floor. I will post a picture on the Instagram page. So follow us on Murder Not Murdering and you can see a picture of a really cute gray Great Dane.
He is a little love bug.
A little love bug.
But not so little.
Not so little. No.
He's more like an elephant.
That's what we call him too, because of the ears. And he is blue. So he is like a big, giant gray dog.
He's very cute.
Very cute and very sweet boy. Usually I have like the cat in here harassing me and I have to cut and then kick him out of the room. So there's that.
Yeah, because he's not as sweet.
No, his name is Love and he's actually a total dick. So
he really is. We were actually just talking about that today, that name just really doesn't fit him.
It sure doesn't. And your cats meow loudly.
Yes, they do.
My cat is like a mute unless there's a bird outside and then he does that weird
Yes.
That's my impression.
It was very good. Very impressed with that impression.
Thank you so much. I've been working on it forever.
I know. You've almost mastered it.
But I do like dogs. So dogs are my jam. And we have another new addition to our household as well. We have two new additions to our household.
I know.
So I have 2 dogs, a cat, and now we have a tadpole named Jeremy Fisher that will be released when he's fully grown into a pond situation. And then we have a brand new little baby jumping spider.
Yep. No, thank you.
Lily, and she's so cute. And she's got those big giant eyes and she looks like Lucas the spider and we love her so much and she's great. And then next week we will have our tarantula showing up, which is named Blanche the Taranch. Look out for her Instagram page. No, I'm just kidding.
I will not be a follower.
Oh, but anyhow.
Sorry.
Yeah, super excited about that. Anything new with you?
Yes. Erin introduced me to the world of analytics for our podcast last night.
Oh, you're going to bring it up. Okay, go for it.
I am very curious as to how this works because we can actually see who listens, how long they listen, and where they listen.
But we can't see like your names or anything like that. It's not like that. It just tells us like how long people are listening or what their retention is during the episodes and
where they're from. And we're really curious.
General areas of where they're from.
Yes. And we're super, super curious as to these listeners that are out of the country.
Yeah, we have quite a good international following, which is kind of awesome.
So if you are one of our international listeners, I would love to hear from you on our Instagram. We just are super curious.
Send us some really cool international cases because we love that.
Yes.
Things maybe that we haven't heard of from your hometown. I would die.
Yes, we are very
Literally.
curious.
No.
We are very curious and super thankful that people like us.
Yes, it's like a passion project for us. It's been really fun to do. So I love it. I love all of it.
Yes. So I had to bring that up because we are very curious who you international people are.
Mhm. And so happy to have all of our Washingtonian listeners. That's
Yes.
always nice. Like, oh, look, there's somebody, here. I'm like, oh, that's my mom.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So it is cool to see all of that. And, we've got a fair amount in Oregon and, a lot of the surrounding states to the Northwest and beyond. It's actually pretty surprising and awesome. We got some people in Texas, some people in Canada. I mean, all over the place. It's
Right.
amazing.
New York, Vermont, all these places.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So we got hoes in all the area codes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Autumn is going to start us off, and she's going to do something where last night she promised me that this was not going to be a case about children. And then today she writes me and is like, is 17 still a child? Because I might be doing another child murder. I'm like, awesome. Great. Cool.
I know I did. I lied to you because
You did lie to me.
I told you, oh, don't worry, it's not a child. And then I started thinking to myself that actually I think 17 is considered a child still.
Yeah. So really looking forward to this. Autumn's going to ruin us again. Everybody hold on to your hats. Here we go.
It's true. Okay. This is the story of the murder of MacKenzie Cowell. On February 9th, 2010, at 3 p.m., 17-year-old MacKenzie Cowell told her classmates at Wenatchee Academy of Hair Design in Wenatchee, Washington, that she would be back in 15 minutes. She had asked if she needed to sign out to leave for the short break and was told it wasn't necessary. She did not say where she was going, but it was thought she was going to her usual coffee stand, Auto Mocha, a drive-through coffee stand she went to several times a week, which is totally common, I feel, for especially a 17-year-old to just want to hop in their car and go get a coffee real quick before class.
Absolutely. I mean, and we're in a coffee state anyway.
Yes. She was seen leaving the beauty school on the security cameras, and it was around this time she sent a text message to her boyfriend, Joaquin Villasano, saying, "Hey, what's up?" MacKenzie's dad, Reed Cowell, tried to call her around 5:40 p.m. that evening when she didn't return home for dinner, but his calls went straight to voicemail. They had discussed making teriyaki burgers together for dinner, so this was unusual behavior for the responsible girl, and he started to get concerned. He called a few of her friends and her boyfriend, but no one had seen or heard from her since her last text message to Joaquin around 3:30 p.m. that day. When MacKenzie missed her 8 p.m. curfew, he knew something was definitely wrong.
I think that's also a really long time to be away from communication.
Yes.
Especially when it's a teenager. And I mean, I'm on my phone a lot. Teenagers
100%
all the time. They're always available when they are or aren't, but they are
right
there.
Yes, 100%. Later that evening, Reed received a call from the Chelan County Police. A resident in remote Chelan County had called in a report of an abandoned vehicle near his driveway. The police had traced the owner of the car. It was Reed Cowell. Reed informed the police that the vehicle was his daughter MacKenzie's, and he hadn't been able to get a hold of her all evening, that she was missing. The vehicle was located in Mission Ridge, 40 miles away from her home in Orondo, Washington. Upon searching the car, they found her purse and some clothes, but no cell phone and no debit card.
That's suspect.
Mm-hmm. Police also noted that there was only one set of footprints found in the snow at the scene. Unlike most cases where it seems the police need to wait a certain amount of time after a parent reports their child missing, the police did not wait in MacKenzie's case.
No, it's way too many things going on to make this more suspicious. They've got to look into it right away.
Totally. The Chelan County Sheriff's Department began the search for her right away. They brought in a helicopter to search the area in the vicinity of where her car was found. They also obtained search warrants for her cell phone and social media accounts. In addition, the sheriffs also called the FBI to help in the investigation. MacKenzie Nicole Cowell was born on April 1st, 1992, to Wendy and Reed Cowell, the youngest of their 3 children. She grew up in the Wenatchee Valley. Wenatchee is a pretty small town, population around 30,000. When MacKenzie was 7 years old, her parents divorced. The divorce was not amicable and resulted in mutual restraining orders.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Although her parents did not get along, they did their best to co-parent, and MacKenzie pretty much split her time between her father and her mother's house, although she spent the majority of her time at her father's house in El Rondo. MacKenzie was described as a girly girl. She loved hair, makeup, and clothes. MacKenzie spent most of her time dancing. She was a member of the Applettes dance team at Kashmir High School. In addition to her high school dance team, she was also a member of 2 dance studios in her town and was often at the gym. At the time of her disappearance, she had been dating her boyfriend, 19-year-old Joaquin, for about 2 years. MacKenzie was ambitious and very driven. As a senior in high school, she attended a vocational school for cosmetology, earning high school credits for getting job training. Her schedule typically was attending high school from 7:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then would finish out her day at the Wenatchee Academy of Hair Design from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. The school was not just for high school students. It was set up for adults in addition. They would attend full days from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., with the high school students like MacKenzie attending the half-day schedule of 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. So it's like a pretty good mix of people going for their career and high school students thinking that that's possibly what they want to do for their career.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, like one of the things that I keep thinking on, just as you've been talking over like the things that she was involved in, is it sounds like she was pretty athletic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, the first thing I go to is like, she could fight somebody,
right?
in my mind.
Or that if her car was there and it, for some reason, there was issues with it, she was pretty athletic. You'd think that those footprints, she would be able to like get somewhere safe.
Yeah. Yeah. She'd have the stamina to keep herself moving and going.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
All of that. And also, again, like I immediately go to fighting. So I'm
right.
like, coordinated. She'd be able,
yes.
That.
Yes. They did describe her as very athletic.
Yeah.
The search was on for the missing 17-year-old. Reed and Wendy had this restraining orders against each other temporarily removed so that they could search for their daughter together without any barriers.
Absolutely.
Which is pretty mature. So I'm glad they did that.
Well, I feel like in that moment that none of your bullshit matters.
No, they're looking for their daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
For the next few days, the helicopter searched the area near the abandoned car, and bloodhounds were called in to search the area. No scent of MacKenzie was detected anywhere but in the car, which also reminds me of the Sky Metalawa case where the bloodhounds came and they only could detect him in the car. They couldn't detect him anywhere else.
So somebody else drove her car there.
Yes, that's what I assume as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. At this time, 3 independent witnesses came forward to tell of a slender male with dark hair and a dark coat walking in the direction away from the car around 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. towards Wenatchee. This stuck out to the witnesses as it was unusual to see someone walking in the wintertime in the snow on a rural road in the direction of town.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
super suspicious. Police were searching her phone records. MacKenzie sent her last text message at 3:26 p.m. to her boyfriend, the one we talked about earlier, where she said, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah.
The last incoming text message was from her boyfriend, replying, saying, "Hey." This is the last activity on MacKenzie's phone, which was unusual for her. She sent over 200 text messages per day.
Yeah. I was going to say that. That
Yes.
sounds right.
Yes. At 5:42 p.m., her phone pinged for the last time, which is when it is presumed it was turned off.
Okay.
On the afternoon of February 13th, 2010, a female body was discovered on the banks of the Columbia River in Crescent Bar, Washington, a resort community about 20 miles away from Wenatchee. She was found fully clothed with her feet in the water, about 50 yards from a vacant home. The body was identified as 17-year-old MacKenzie Cowell.
Mm.
She was still in her beauty school uniform. An autopsy was done, and it was determined that she had died on February 9th around 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., right after she went missing, before her dad had even called her phone. She had no drugs or alcohol in her system and had not been sexually assaulted.
Well, that's good at least.
Mm-hmm. The cause of death had been determined to be strangulation, a stab wound to the neck, and blunt force trauma to the head.
Jesus.
The killer had tried to dismember her, but was not successful. There was a knife still in her shoulder from where it appeared they started the attempt to dismember her.
Oh my God.
Isn't that
You and I,
brutal?
it's brutal, but you and I just had a chat about how
I know.
we keep covering dismemberment.
When you were telling me that, I literally was like, she better stop talking about this. We're not gonna have to tell her the
Always
story.
seems to be like my last few cases have dismemberment. Anyway,
Yes.
that is fucking awful, and awful that it was also an unsuccessful attempt makes it even more cringy to me.
Yes. And it was said to be done post-mortem. So she was not alive when they were trying to dismember her.
Yeah.
And that is the only comfort that I can see about that.
Uh-huh.
This knife, a kitchen knife, was believed to be the murder weapon. Duct tape was found on her mouth, and near her body, there was a roll of duct tape and a plastic bag. Her missing keys, phone, and her debit card were not at the scene. On February 25th, around 1,800 people attended a memorial service for MacKenzie, which was held at the Town Toyota Center in Wenatchee. That's a decent amount of people for such a small town.
Yeah, poor thing.
It's really sad. The MacKenzie Cowell Task Force, a multi-agency police group, assembled after the recovery of her body. The task force included law enforcement agents from the city of Wenatchee and East Wenatchee, and from the counties of Chelan and Douglas. An FBI agent and 2 officials from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement also assisted the task force. The case was the largest multi-agency investigation in the Wenatchee area since an attempted serial bombing in 1997.
Oh, wow.
Police interviewed over 800 people throughout the course of the investigation.
Oh my God.
It's a lot of
That's
people.
a lot of people.
Several pieces of evidence were sent to the state crime lab in Cheney to be tested. The lab found nothing on the plastic bag near MacKenzie's body. However, they did find blood on the roll of duct tape found nearby, as well as trace amounts of DNA from 2 unknown males. DNA from 3 males was found on the knife.
Okay.
So
this was something planned.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
Yeah.
An unknown male DNA profile was found on the steering wheel of MacKenzie's car, as well as an unknown male DNA profile on her left hand fingernail. No female DNA was found at the crime scene other than MacKenzie's. The task force initially had two prime suspects, MacKenzie's boyfriend, Joaquin Villasano, and her mother's boyfriend, Joey Fisher.
Oh.
According to police, Villasano had failed a polygraph when asked if he knew what happened to MacKenzie. Joey Fisher and MacKenzie had allegedly gotten into a big argument the day before she went missing. Joaquin, despite failing the polygraph, and I'm sure by now everyone knows how I feel about polygraph tests.
Exactly. Unreliable.
Yes. Had a rock solid alibi of being at work, and police announced that he was 100% cleared as a suspect.
Okay.
Joey Fisher and MacKenzie hated each other. They had reportedly gotten into a huge argument the night before she was murdered, and she had given her mother an ultimatum, telling her it was either him or me. But Joey was cleared as he was at work miles away on the day she was murdered. The next lead for the task force came from Liz Reed, a college student, police informant, and former drug dealer. Liz had a story to tell. Liz told police that two drug dealers, Sam Cuevas and Emmanuel Cerros, had murdered MacKenzie in a case of mistaken identity. She alleged the two had supposedly believed MacKenzie was an informant, just like Liz. Liz claims she saw a snuff film of the murder and that Sam Cuevas admitted to her, "I choked that bitch to shut her up."
Oh my God.
Right?
I was not expecting any of this. I'm like, wait, what?
Yes. My fucking goosebumps came whenever I see that sentence. Like, what a dick. What a dick.
Just the turn of events.
I know. It's very,
and oh my God.
It's like a made for TV movie.
It will be.
Yes. Maybe. I don't know. Liz described the murder weapon before it was made public and gave police a ring which she claimed had belonged to MacKenzie. She said Emmanuel Cerros had sent her to the location the murder took place to find the ring to cover up any evidence of MacKenzie. However, when the task force showed the ring to MacKenzie's family and friends, none of them recognized the ring as belonging to MacKenzie. Liz Reed later retracted her claim of seeing a video of the murder. As a result, police began to question her credibility. Sam Cuevas and Emmanuel Cerros were interviewed by the task force and produced alibis, witness statements, and phone records, placing them elsewhere on the day of MacKenzie's disappearance.
What about DNA?
Did
they not test them?
They must have later.
I'm sure they had to have.
Police were also never able to find this snuff film, and Liz was not able to produce the film she allegedly viewed. After receiving several tips, police began to focus the investigation on Christopher Scott Wilson, a 29-year-old classmate of MacKenzie's at the Academy of Hair Design. Christopher was taking classes at the school to one day take over his mom's hair business. Police received a letter in August of 2010, which claimed that Christopher had an obsession with death, dead bodies, and serial killers.
Oh, like us.
Mm-hmm. Christopher, I know that's the first thing that came to mind. Christopher was said to be a fan of the series Dexter and have a Hannibal Lecter tattoo, which honestly, those aren't red flags to me.
I mean,
Dexter's a very popular TV series.
Yes, very popular TV series. And then also Hannibal Lecter is like a culty,
like an iconic movie that
films.
Yes.
And stories and all of that.
The profiling on that aspect of the situation is a hot topic on all forums too, like
I'm sure,
Reddit,
because
everywhere.
it feels very like small town.
Yes.
Let's find somebody who's into Satanism and then
yes,
we can go after them.
100%.
Yeah.
Because just because you're a little weird and you like serial killers or hearing or reading about them doesn't mean you actually want to kill somebody.
No, it's a fascination into human behavior.
Yes. And that's not a fair, hey, he did it because he likes these
like
things.
I said, it sounds very like small town, let's, kind of a witch trial type.
Yes, 100%. One of Christopher's classmates told police that he had once said he used to work in funeral homes and that he liked to cut people up.
Oh.
I have a lot of feelings about this.
Yeah.
Like I said before, just because someone is into true crime does not mean they want to carry out an act of murder.
No. And again, there are people that find anatomy fascinating.
100%. We need those people, morticians and
yes,
we need those people. So there are people
they're not doing it for sport and they're doing it in the name of science.
And I feel working
in a medical lab.
Yes. And I feel like working in a funeral home is an appropriate place to cut somebody up.
I mean, if that's what your job entailed.
Yes.
Not just for funsies.
No. And I believe that that's not what he was doing. I think that was his job. On October 6th, 2010, Christopher Scott Wilson was arrested on suspicion of second-degree murder and held on $1 million U.S. bail.
That's a pretty high bail.
Especially for a small town.
Yeah.
DNA found on duct tape near where MacKenzie's body was discovered linked Christopher to the crime.
Oh, damn.
I know. I was on Christopher's side for a teeny tiny sliver of a moment.
Yeah, me too. But now I'm like, fuck.
Right. According to investigators, Christopher left the beauty school shortly after MacKenzie did on the day she disappeared. He is seen leaving on the security footage just minutes after her. Now remember, 3 witnesses reported seeing a man matching Christopher's description near where her car had been abandoned.
Yeah.
The task force did a search of Christopher's apartment and discovered a blood stain on his carpet. After being tested, was a perfect match to MacKenzie's DNA.
Okay, this is very damning evidence right now.
Yeah, I agree.
But it wasn't there also 2 other male DNA?
There were 3 unknown, 3 unknown DNAs on the knife.
Yeah, so 3 total.
In December 2010, the MacKenzie Cowell task force made a second arrest. Okay. Christopher's best friend, Tessa M. Schulman, was accused of, but never charged with, helping Christopher to conceal the crime. Detectives claimed that many photos were found on Christopher's computer of Tessa posing as a dead person on the spot in his apartment where MacKenzie's blood was found.
What the fuck?
Dude.
Wow. Okay.
I know. It gets worse.
Okay.
For her part, Tessa claims she had no knowledge of this blood stain and that Christopher had told her to pose there. They did find a suspicious video on her phone where it shows Tessa on June 26th, 2010, 4 months after MacKenzie's murder, videoing Christopher's empty apartment and saying, "Looks pretty clean considering." Because that's not suspicious. Considering what, Tessa?
Yeah.
I also need to mention that Tessa and Christopher did date on and off.
Okay.
Prosecutors upgraded Christopher's charge from second degree to first degree murder in April 2011, stating that his actions constituted premeditation. If found guilty, he would face a sentence of 20 to 26 years in prison. Before the trial began, Christopher rejected a plea deal in which he would have received a prison sentence of about 6.5 years in exchange for pleading guilty to first-degree manslaughter.
Well, that is not nearly enough anyway.
No, but he rejected it.
Yeah, because is he claiming he's innocent?
100%.
Okay.
He says he didn't do it and he will not plead guilty to something he did not do.
Okay.
Christopher's defense team was led by John Henry Brown, a well-known Seattle attorney who had previously represented high-profile defendants such as Ted Bundy and Colton Harris Moore.
Oh, wow.
He was freaking Ted Bundy's attorney.
Yeah, Autumn is like fangirling right now.
I'm like, dang, over the attorney, not over Ted.
Yeah, of course.
Brown intended to argue that MacKenzie's blood had been planted in Christopher's apartment by the police. According to Brown, more blood should have been found at the apartment, given the violent nature of MacKenzie's death. The judge ruled that the defense would be allowed to present evidence implicating Sam Cuevas and Emmanuel Cerros as the killers.
Oh, okay.
The judge also ruled that the prosecution would not be allowed to bring up Christopher's work history at area funeral homes, his tattoo of Hannibal Lecter, or his online activity on DeviantArt and on serial killer forums. After jury selection for the trial had begun, Christopher accepted a new plea deal. He pleaded guilty to the first-degree manslaughter of MacKenzie Cowell, as well as first-degree robbery for taking her cell phone.
Really?
Yeah, but they never, and I researched this a lot, they never said that he had her cell phone, like, or recovered the actual cell phone.
Huh.
So I'm a little confused about that charge.
Yeah.
He was sentenced to 14 years and 3 months in prison. That's so small to me.
Yeah, it's still not nearly enough, but
so small.
Yeah.
Christopher would later maintain his innocence, stating that he only pled guilty because he did not believe he would receive a fair trial. Christopher filed a motion to withdraw his guilty plea. He claimed he did not fully understand what he was pleading to, but the motion was rejected by the Washington Court of Appeals, where they stated they found no evidence to support that he was not fully informed of his plea.
Yeah, I'm sure that, I mean,
his attorney had to go over that with him.
Had to have gone over that.
There's no way he didn't.
No. It wouldn't be like you're innocent, but you're going to jail on this plea deal. That wouldn't be a thing.
No, he would 100% explain that to him.
Yeah.
He is imprisoned at Callum Bay Correction Center and is scheduled to be eligible for parole in 2023.
Oh shit, that's not that long from now.
I know. Although Christopher Scott Wilson was convicted of her murder, there are a lot of people that do question this verdict, and it's a pretty hot topic. I personally believe that the evidence found in his apartment is pretty convincing, and I do feel that they have the right person behind bars.
Bold statement there.
I know. My sources were Wikipedia, Reddit, Seattle Times, and Como 4 News.
I'm just really curious about these other DNA samples I found. I'm curious, like it may be one of those things that comes up later on, gets a hit or something like that. I hope.
Yes. And the only thing I can think of, because I thought about that as well, because there were so many other unknown DNAs that were found, but it was a kitchen knife.
Yeah.
And
then there could have been other people.
There could have been other people that had used it, and they just were not able.
Well, plus the one set of footprints in the snow and the one and DNA on the steering wheel, but not the rest of the car makes it feel very suspicious.
Yes. And the duct tape.
That's right. I mean, did anybody look into the other guys that claimed that they killed somebody?
Yes. And they had rock solid alibis from what the police had stated.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, did they kill somebody?
Oh,
like,
they were very seedy characters. They did.
They
I haven't
choked a woman, so I mean,
yes.
somebody should look into that. Just saying.
But they didn't tell the police that sentence.
Sure.
Liz Reed was the one that
and
said that.
What Liz was up to.
Yes, Liz was a former drug dealer herself, and she was a police informant. So who really knows if she was just trying to insert herself into a situation,
try to get some sort of like deal or
yes, or who knows?
Maybe she legit
an attention
was, like,
seeker. Yeah, and that could be.
Never know.
That could be, but she was never able to produce the snuff film that she said she saw.
Sure.
So, and then the ring that she said was MacKenzie's, none of her family and friends agreed.
Pretty sad one.
Yes.
But and interesting. I like that it's another local case.
And the thing is that a lot of people had said too that they didn't know each other, even though they were classmates, they were not friends.
Yeah. But I mean, how many times have we seen where somebody becomes obsessed with a particular person?
Yes. And there were accounts that a couple of his friends had said that he had mentioned that he found her attractive.
Okay. So he was aware of her and
right. And I don't think that she was aware of him. But the thing is that regardless if they knew each other or not, somehow her blood ended up into his apartment.
Sure.
And if they weren't friends, how can you explain that?
Yeah, you can't.
Like, if your DNA was found in my apartment, I mean, that wouldn't be that.
And I get them saying, like, that there wasn't enough blood for it to make sense, but the killing could have happened literally anywhere. That could have just been on his shoe or
or
like that.
He could have stabbed her there and then transported her. You just never know. Never know. A lot of people on Reddit, like I went down this rabbit hole, like a lot of people on Reddit said that they believe since he was into that show Dexter, how Dexter put all the like plastic around and that he probably immolated that to some degree, maybe in his bathroom.
Possibly.
But it was probably pretty well thought out by him.
I mean, yes, well thought out, but you can see that there was a little bit of like stumbling and panic.
Yes.
With the leaving of the duct tape and all of
this. And like the evidence and whatnot. And there was a lot of
unsuccessful dismemberment. I mean,
and he had supposedly
a bit of a mess.
Yeah. And he supposedly cut people in like at his job. So maybe I feel like you might know what he was doing, but I don't know. There was a lot of talk.
Medical school. I mean, I don't know.
And the Reddit community also mentions that it could have been possibly like a small town being like, we just need to find this murderer because everyone's panicking.
That was one of the things that I was thinking of too, is just being like, hey, let's pick on the, the dark town weirdo, in their opinion, and just find something wrong with him. I mean, small towns, they do that. They don't understand the people that are different. And it wouldn't be like shocking or uncommon if that happened to be how it all worked out.
Right. And that's what his attorney had alleged as well, that he believed the police planted all the evidence.
Yeah. It's also why they wanted to get the tattoo thrown out and his job history and all of that stuff, because it's a little unfair to think that could be, a sole reason of why he could be guilty when it needs to be more based in evidence.
So as you can see, it's a hot topic. Not everyone's convinced they have the right person. Yeah. I'm after going down that rabbit hole, I do feel like it was him. Yeah. But I also feel like there's unanswered questions. Like I kind of believe there's somebody else involved.
Yeah. I mean, I have so many questions, but if any of you have gone down that rabbit hole or also are curious or have a comment or something about this case, please comment, because we'll put pictures and all of that on Instagram. We'd love to hear from you and hear your opinion on what you think of this case, because
100%.
I'm not sold in any direction right now.
It is pretty like it messes with your mind.
It does. It does.
Because you believe you find somebody and then you're convinced and then you start down this another little rabbit hole and you're like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah, no, that was a really good one. I also like the shout out to a local place that's, for those that don't know, that is east of the mountains from where we are. We're in like a little bit more of a deserty area on the, like I said, on the other side of the mountains.
And lots of people do vacation over there.
A ton of people vacation there or visit often. So that was really fun, sort of.
It's like a choose your own adventure.
It was very choose your own adventure. So we're going to hear from our sponsor real quick, and then I will be back with my case. All right. We'll see you in a minute. And we are back. So my case is called the Chicken Run Murder. I knew you were going to laugh. I was like, you're going to laugh at this one.
I like it.
Okay. John Norman Holmes Thorne and Elsie Emily Cameron met in 1920. She was a 26-year-old typist. She is described as plain to look at, wore glasses, and high-strung. Norman, 18 years old, was an electrical engineer, and he was described as slow-witted. Elsie, which is not very nice.
No, I was about to say that's not nice at all.
Neither of them are described nicely, but here we go. So Elsie was 8 years older than him and really wanted a family. And I really hate the narrative in that, but it's consistent across all my research that he's slow-witted, that she is high-strung and really wanted to get married. Anyway, Elsie
got it.
Yeah. Elsie wanted a commitment from Norman. And in that time, she really needed to nail down a marriage proposal. And she was worried about being considered an old maid.
Yeah.
She had decided that Norman would do for her. And the couple started courting. When Norman became unemployed in the summer of 1921, he decided to go into business for himself. His father gave him 100 pounds, roughly 4,500 pounds today, and he bought a small piece of land at Carborough in Sussex and set himself up as the Wesley Poultry Farm. Norman worked hard. He built a series of sheds and runs and cycled back to London on weekends to see Elsie. He converted one of the shacks on the site into a living accommodation, and he moved in. Now it was Elsie's turn to travel, and she would catch the train down to Sussex and would spend the days with Norman and stay with a local family at night because it was not appropriate for them to be staying together when they weren't married.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Anxious to persuade him to the altar, she began to sleep with him, though Norman would later tell police that they didn't have full sex.
What?
He actually grossly said, "In my opinion, I didn't put it in her."
Oh my God. I know. In his opinion.
That is what he told the police.
It's like pretty black and white. Oh. Either it happened or it didn't.
Not according to Norman. So Elsie, Elsie and Norman became engaged at Christmas in 1922. Shortly afterwards, Elsie lost her job. Over the next few months, she had a series of jobs, all of which she soon left for one reason or another. About June 1923, Norman's business was not doing well. Because of this, Norman was reluctant to fix a wedding date, or so we thought.
Uh-oh.
In 1924, Norman went to a local dance and met Bessie Caldecott, a dressmaker. Bessie was a lot less demanding and uncomplicated. His feelings began to shift from Elsie to Bessie.
Oh, no.
But he continued to see both of them.
Mm-hmm. He's not so slow, okay? Sounds like he's made a conscious decision here.
Well, he wasn't sure if he put it in her. I mean, come on.
I mean, that's true.
In October, Elsie traveled to Crowborough and stayed a week. As usual, she lodged with Norman's neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Cosham, and spent her days with him at the farm. After she returned home from that trip, she wrote to Norman, informing him that she was pregnant. Norman promptly wrote her back, telling her about Bessie.
What?
He wrote Elsie in November. There are one or two things I haven't told you for more reasons than one. It concerns someone else as well. I am between two fires. Also the name of the soap opera I'm going to write one day.
I was about to say that sounds like a soap opera or a romance novel book if I've ever heard one.
Between two fires. I love it though. Okay. Elsie, though, did not seem to understand, and she wrote back Norman insisting they should marry as soon as possible. So Norman wrote her back, "What I haven't told you is that on certain occasions, a girl has been here late at night. I'm not going to mention her name. No one knows. I must have time to think. She thinks I'm going to marry her, and I have a strong feeling for her too." The reply from Elsie was not what Norman had hoped for. This was what she wrote. "You have absolutely broken my heart. I have never thought you were capable of such deception. Your duty is to marry me. I have first claim on you. I expect you to marry me as soon as possible. My baby must have a name. And another thing," and this is going to get you on him, "I love you in spite of it all."
Stop.
Elsie, girl.
No, girlfriend.
Honey, you don't want this. You don't want Norman.
No, he doesn't want you.
No, yeah. Sunday, November 30th, Elsie arrived unannounced at the farm at about 11 a.m. She was in a highly agitated state, and to calm her, Norman convinced her that he would marry her, but that they had to wait until he sorted things out with his father. Elsie left just before 8 p.m. and went back to London. Norman's father visited Norman on Wednesday, December 3rd, when they discussed Norman's financial and personal issues. Mr. Thorne Sr. advised Norman to wait if he had any doubts to the claim that Elsie was pregnant, and Norman wrote Elsie informing her of this. He was just telling her, I don't believe that you're actually pregnant. And there wasn't anything confirmed by a doctor. She just said she was pregnant. So he thinks that she was like basically trying to trap him into marriage.
Oh, okay.
Elsie could see the object of her dreams disappearing and decided it was time to act. She set out on December 5th, determined to settle the matter. She caught the train to Crowborough Station and walked to the farm. This was the last time she was ever seen alive. On December 10th, 5 days after Elsie left, her father sent a telegram to Norman asking after his daughter. Elsie left Friday. Have heard no news. Reply. Norman's reply was, not here. Open letters. Can't understand. The letters in question had been written by Norman and sent to Elsie's home. The first read, where did you get to yesterday? I went to Groombridge and you did not turn up. The second letter, written the next day, said, I was expecting a letter today, especially after not hearing from you. The following day, Elsie's father informed the police of his daughter's disappearance. 2 nurserymen came forward and said they had been passing by Norman's gate and had seen Elsie walking towards the farm on the evening of the 5th. The police searched the chicken huts, but found no trace of Elsie. Norman insisted she had never even been there. Which, why would he write that, the letters telling the dad that she had left?
Right. And that, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
So Scotland Yard was called in, but there was still no trace of Elsie that could be found. Then on the 1st of January, 1925, a woman called the police to say that she had been on her way home on the evening of December 5th when passing the farm, and she saw a young woman entering Thorne's farm carrying an attaché case. It wasn't much to go on, but the police now had 3 witnesses saying they had seen Elsie at the farm on the night in question. On the 14th, Chief Inspector Gillian of Scotland Yard arrived at Norman's farm. Norman Thorne was taken into custody. Meanwhile, police searched the place again. This time, they brought spades with them. Just after 8 a.m. the next morning, a policeman found Elsie's case containing glasses, a jumper, which is a sweater for any of you Americans listening, and shoes. The mystery was starting to unravel. Back at the station, Norman could see that his original story would not hold, so he gave another statement. Elsie Cameron had indeed called on him on the afternoon of December 5th. She told him she had intended to sleep in the hut and would stay until they were married. An argument ensued and it went on for hours. Norman then told Elsie he had an appointment at 9 that evening and had to go. He did not tell her he was going to meet Bessie.
Oh, what a dog.
Mm-hmm. This is what Norman said of his after his return 2 hours later. When I opened the hut door, I saw Miss Cameron hanging from a beam that supported the roof by a piece of cord used for the washing line. I cut the cord and laid her on the bed. She was dead. Then I put out the lights. She had her frock off and her hair was down. I lay across the table for about an hour. I was about to go to Dr. Turrell and knock to see if someone could go for the police, and I realized the position I was in and decided not to do so. Then I went down to the workshop, got my hacksaw and some sacks, and took them back to the hut. I took off Miss Cameron's clothes and burned them in the fireplace in the hut. Then I laid the sacks on the floor and sawed off her legs and her head by the glow of the fire.
Oh my God, Erin.
I put them in sacks, intending to carry them away, but my nerve failed me, and I took them down to the workshop and left them there. I went back to the hut and sat in the chair all night. The next morning, just as it got light, I buried the sacks and the tin containing the remains in the chicken run. It is the Leghorn Chicken Run, the first pen from the gate. So at this point, Norman has admitted to dismembering and burying Elsie's body, but that he didn't kill her and she had committed suicide.
I'm just sitting here shocked as hell because before we go any further, if you didn't kill her, how could you stomach?
Who panics and dismembers people?
Yes, I was about to say, how could you stomach cutting people apart?
Well, and someone he claimed to be in love with.
Yes, right.
There's more.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. Norman's defense was that it was all due to overwhelming fear. He stated, "I thought of the letters I had written. I remembered that I'd been telling people that I wanted to break off the engagement. I remembered that it was known that another girl had been walking out with me. In view of these things, I became afraid." So that's why he claims that that's the reason he did this.
I would be more afraid of dismembering a human than telling the truth, supposedly.
Yeah. Dr. Bernard Spilsbury, an acclaimed and leading pathologist described as a legend in pathology, was carrying out the postmortem. He said he could find no signs of rope marks, and Norman was charged with murder. He appeared before a judge and jury on March 4th, 1925. Evidence was given as to the lack of rope marks for the prosecution, but it was argued by Dr. Robert Bronte, a second pathologist, who did an autopsy as requested by Norman's counsel as they were disputing the murder charge. So it's pretty uncommon to bring a second pathologist in.
So they didn't trust the first pathologist? Is that why?
The first pathologist is like literally he broke all the grounds on so many things in forensics, and he was really well known. He's like in almost every high profile case I do from this time period in England, he is on every single one. Bernard Spilsbury, Sir Bernard Spilsbury.
Then why the heck did they bring in another person?
Because Norman said, I did not kill her and I want a second opinion. Now, Bronte said that he had found creases on the neck that may have been made by a rope. The police told of their examination of the beams in the shack, and they said that there was no sign of a rope ever being suspended from any of them. In fact, they did experiments hanging 8 stone bags from a rope on the beam, both by swinging and dropping it and by kicking a chair over. And both times the rope left an indent on the beam. When it was originally examined, there were not any markings of any kind on the beam. So it didn't seem like a rope was actually hung from there, because in their experiments, they were using her weight and it left marks.
That makes sense.
Bronte claimed that Dr. Bernard Spilsbury was out of date and didn't see things correctly. Spilsbury explained that upon his examination, that there was bruising that made sense with a struggle and a beating. Bronte was adamant that the bruises were just in the tissue level and would have been much deeper had there actually been a beating, and that the bruising was due to her fall when Norman cut her down. Another thing to note is that Elsie was exhumed for the second post-mortem, and her coffin was not sealed correctly. There was a fair amount of decay, and her coffin was filled with water, changing the composition of the body as well.
Oh, wow.
The case has been looked at by recent pathologists, and they have determined that both pathologists may have been wrong, and that because the head was severed, it would be nearly impossible to tell if there was bruising on her neck or rope marks. They also did say that the bruising could have been caused by the fall off the beam and did not seem like there was a savage beating. So essentially, both of them were wrong.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot other things going on now. Everyone agreed that the bruising that she had was at the tissue level. So it wouldn't have been a savage beating or anything like that. It would be like if you bumped your arm into something and you got a bruise.
Okay.
So it wasn't super deep, but her head was severed. So saying that you saw rope marks or anything would have been really impossible to tell. And especially when Bronte was looking at it, because it was so decayed at that point that it would be really difficult to tell. And the amount of moisture that was in her coffin would also have affected the composition of her body.
Jeez.
Yeah. Curtis Bennett, the attorney for the prosecution, asked Norman on the stand, "On the morning of December, were you still in love with Elsie Cameron?" "Yes," answered Thorne. "On the morning of December 5th, were you still in love with this other woman?" "Yes," came the reply. On that morning, Bennett continued, "Which of these 2 girls were you in love with that you desired to marry?" "I do not know that I was particularly desirous of marrying any at the time."
What the hell?
Which did you intend to marry in the future?" "Well," said Norman, "of the 2, I suppose I thought more of the other girl."
Oh, poor Elsie.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
On March 16th, the jury retired and returned a guilty verdict after 30 minutes of deliberation. Norman Thorne was sentenced to death. His case was taken to the Court of Criminal Appeal, and an application was made for medical evidence to be reviewed by the commissioner appointed by the court. The application was rejected, as was the appeal, and Thorne was hanged on April 22nd, 1925 at Wandsworth Prison. And strangely enough, the 22nd would have been Elsie's 27th birthday.
Did they?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but did Did they do an examination to see if she was actually pregnant?
No.
Ugh,
No
dang
one,
it.
I know. No one really knows if Norman killed Elsie so that he could pursue Bessie, or if he killed her because he was afraid of losing, or if she killed herself because she was afraid of losing the idea of a man she thought she wanted to be with. Either way, this is a sad, gruesome story. And that is the tale of the Chicken Run murder. My sources were Murderpedia, BritishExecutions.co.uk, the Daily Mail UK, PubMed Central at the US National Institute Library of Medicine, and Murder Mystery and My Family.
I freaking loved that one.
Yeah.
I really did.
It's really kind of a crazy one. And I mean, what he was fighting for was to be convicted of manslaughter. The only thing is, I mean, like I said before, who fucking panics and dismembers somebody?
That is psycho level to me.
There's something about that I find extremely crazy. Like, again, like I said, who panics and is like, well, I guess I'll just cut her up now. I mean, and then bury her under the chicken run. I get that maybe he was in shock when he came home and found her, you know, if he came home and found her, but again, there wasn't rope marks on the beam. And when they did the tests, they saw rope marks. So it just doesn't make sense. In my opinion, I kind of think that he maybe killed her in the heat of a moment or something like that. Because they couldn't say if it was strangulation. They couldn't say anything because the head was severed.
Well, the whole thing is that if he was going to bury her under the chicken coop, why couldn't he keep her intact?
It's just very strange.
It's super strange that his first instinct is to dismember her.
Yeah. I don't know.
To me, that was, he had ulterior. Yeah.
I found this to be, I mean, he was trying to find a way out of being with her. He even said on the stand that he didn't want her. He wanted Bessie. Mm-hmm. And he felt like he was getting trapped into all of this because of the pregnancy. And he wasn't sure if he even really put it in her.
Which to me was stupid. I mean, obviously they had relations. Yeah. Because as a woman, she wouldn't be like, oh, I'm pregnant if that never happened.
Sure. But
even if she wasn't actually pregnant, she wouldn't be able to tell him I'm pregnant if she did not believe that had actually happened.
Well, yes. The thing is to remember is there's not like sex ed. There's not any of that going on. So people did, he was young. He may not have necessarily known how everything worked exactly.
Yeah.
But there are high school students that think that you can get pregnant from having sex, like just someone ejaculating in a hot tub. So let's be
real.
Sitting
on a toilet seat.
You're sitting on a toilet seat. So, the idea that he could have possibly not quite understood how it all worked could very well have been.
Yeah.
But, I just thought that was just so crazy, and it escalates so fast.
Yes, it really, really does.
I knew as I was reading his statement, I was like, here it comes. Here it comes. I was like, Autumn's going to freak out.
I totally did. And we had these weird connections again with dismemberments.
Dismemberment, disappearance.
Yes. And people not truly knowing if the person that's convicted was actually guilty.
The murderer. I mean, he was guilty of hiding and dismembering a body, but he was not necessarily guilty of her death that we know of.
Right.
And there was no way to prove it. And I just thought the drama of the two pathologists was really fascinating. I would have
to agree.
I read a lot of the medical records, the actual medical records that I was able to find. And so that was fascinating to see that. And it got really heated between them.
Wow.
But Sir Bernard Spilsbury, like I said, he was like the leading guy and he's on so many cases. the judge actually said to the jury was like, he's very reputable and I know you're going to do the right thing. Which also, judge, not really cool that you did that. But he did say that to them at like right before they went to deliberate.
Wow.
Like, basically trust that guy. He's been around the block a lot longer.
And in some situations, I can totally understand that, but that's very persuasive.
It's very persuasive. And I mean, I'm sure he had a relationship with him because they'd known each other for many years, you know, and I understand being like, there's new stuff that's come up and new ways to research. And maybe he didn't know the new things that Bronte was talking about. Who knows? But current pathologists in current times have said there's just no way with the head severed where it was that you could have seen if there was rope bruising or anything like that.
Well, dang it, you cut her head off.
I mean,
now we'll never know.
Either way, poor Elsie died, and that's so sad and awful, but made for a very interesting case. Plus, when I saw the chicken run murder, I was like, must hear this story.
Yes, that was I really enjoyed that one. I mean, not that someone passed away, but it was very
interesting.
And
it unfolds, which I like. And I also love that they actually had the letters and they actually had, you know, a lot of like what their correspondence was. And also check out my new show, Between Two Fires.
Also, that one show you mentioned, And My Family. What's that one again?
Oh, yeah. It's my new favorite show right now.
Yes.
It's called Murder, Mystery, and My Family.
Yes. We watched a little bit of that when we hung out, and it's very interesting. People who like true crime would really like that show.
Yeah. It's on, if you have BritBox, you can find it on there, but, or maybe you might be able to find it on Amazon Prime, something like that. Anyway, it's, two lawyers are re-looking into cases to see if there was maybe an injustice done in the cases. And they have family members of murderers, convicted murderers, come on to see if they can get justice for their family members or get something overturned if they think that something wasn't done correctly. And they actually have several times turned things over.
Which to me is so fascinating.
Yeah, actually, Edith Thompson, the one that I covered a few weeks back, that one is covered on this, and her family members were able to get her exhumed and buried with her family, and they got her sentence changed. So, you know, there's actual progress happening on it, and I find it really fascinating, and I really like that show. Don't watch all of it because I'm probably going to steal more cases from it.
Yes. Only watch the ones that she's already done.
Watch the ones I've covered and then be ready for the rest because it is really good. And they do a ton of research. And then I had so many things to look at for after that. I found so many articles. And then, like I said, I looked up the actual medical examiner, documents, and it was very fascinating and very gruesome, but research is research and I need to get it done. Anyway, I've been sitting on it for a week just dying to tell you.
I'm so glad you did. I loved it.
Yes. Just so you all know, Agador is still sleeping. Thank God he's not snoring, so you can't hear that in the background.
Well, there was a lot of motorcycles, unusual amount of motorcycles that were happening during my story. So I apologize.
Yeah. Well, I'll see if I can edit that out. We'll see. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Again, we always love it when you send us cases. You can send it to info@murdernotmurdering.com or DM us on Instagram. Comment and like on all of our photos, and we will post pictures of all of the people involved in our cases. So do all of those things.
Please.
Please. And we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.